Hey, Sisqo, when we first started writing about Drew Hill and you in Right On Magazine, um, did you ever expect that the Thong Song was going to get as big as it actually did? Because I remember the controversy about the song, but I don't know if you remember the controversy about the song.
I remember it was a lot. It was a lot of controversy about that song. Things are a lot looser, pardon the pun, today as it relates to what you can say and do in the mainstream media. But yeah, back then it was pretty wild, and yeah, I thought the song would be big. I'm just glad that 20 years later, people still can appreciate it. So to answer your question, I think in that moment I thought the song would be big, but I wasn't sure that 20 years later it still would be, around and kicking and being sampled and all of that.
Yeah. Now, what one thing I remember about the song is um, because Drew Hill was supposed to be kind of like a teen group, the song was considered somewhat risque because of the fact that we're talking about thongs, which is a very abbreviated piece of underwear
Yeah.
or bathing suit.
Mhm.
And at the time, you were being pretty daring, and people weren't sure what was going to happen. But the next thing we knew, I think partially because of MTV, the song just really took on a life of its own. And
Yes, yes. I
and
think it went past the song. I think because, like I said, because all of the censorship and how the reins were pretty tight, and you just had young kids wanting to express themselves, and it was just a lot of movements going on with just young people and different races and women, gaining more independence and more power. I mean, Thong Song is pretty much the birthplace of songs like Megan Thee Stallion's WAP. It's
yeah,
right, and it's in that same just kind of empowerment movement. The best thing about I think Thong Song though is that everybody involved wins.
and the thing about it is, the song actually kind of made your career to a certain degree because after that, it was all about Cisco. So, how did that make you feel?
um Man, it was you you know I was kind of in an echo chamber, if you will, because when I had worked with my group, we had came directly out of high school into the music industry, and I was fortunate enough to have two multi-platinum albums before I even did the solo thing. So to be honest, it was almost like just getting maybe a slightly bigger room than you used to have. But I had already gotten past the initial shock of experiencing success. Um, but to be honest, the scale that I had received success as a solo artist was definitely opened my eyes to things I didn't see as a platinum artist, multi-platinum artist with Drew Hill. So
Mhm.
so once again, to answer your question, yeah, it was a shock. It was because I thought I saw it all. As a young inner city kid from Baltimore, um, once you become multi platinum, that's more than anybody expects. When you're coming from Baltimore, and the only no notable artists that had come from there at the time were artists that were um, out before we were born, like Billie Holiday and Cab Calloway.
Mhm. Well, this is so amazing. You must have been so excited when you found out that Vice Media wanted to do a documentary based around that particular song, weren't you?
Um, it was we we had just did another. It was just like another interview for me during that day. But I am ecstatic that so many people um have has shown interest. The last time I looked, it was like a 500,000 people that checked it out. It's only been out for like 3 days, so that's kind of cool. But not we have kind of moved away from the mainstream media, but I've been fortunate enough to still been able to work even through the pandemic. Ironically, with Thong Song, I was asked by Daddy Yankee. They wanted to use my song, and fortunately for me, I own the masters. So they came to me and asked if they could remix my song. And then I performed on the Latin Billboard Awards for the first time um, back in the summer, I believe.
Oh, okay, that's great. Now,
Mhm.
what are some of your other musical endeavors at the moment? Because
Um,
obviously the pandemic hasn't kept you down for long.
no, no, thank God. We've I actually just did a collaboration with Omar Wilson, Sean Stockman, and Raheem Devon for a remake of uh, Quincy Jones' Secret Garden.
Oh my gosh, my favorite.
Really? We got a
Oh
video. Check it
yes,
out.
that was a classic. But I've got
Yeah.
to hear your version.
Yes, yes, we shot a video and everything. And that was a fantastic endeavor. Hopefully we get to perform it live soon. I've been also fortunate enough to continue performing with Drew Hill, as well as the live performance that we had on the Latin Billboard Awards, and having opportunities to do, these interviews with you. That's why we got the setup, because man, through the pandemic, it's like, I guess people been home, and so they've kind of been able to kind of delve into the music, I guess, that moved them over the years. And I guess we've been a part of that movement.
Right.
And so here we are.
I think that's great. And you still look fantastic.
Thank you.
Do you
You
have any?
too.
Oh, thank you. Any tips you want to give us? Any workout tips or
Workout
anything?
tips. You gotta push through and do your best to don't lie to yourself.
Oh, you are funny. And also, what do you have any advice for some of the new artists that are coming along? Because sometimes they try to act like R&B is dead, and
Oh,
R&B is not dead. I mean, I know so many people that have collaborated, or they used samples or done
yeah.
whatever. And
Yeah, they sampling my music. So
right, right. So what do you have to say to some of the younger generation
uh
that
to some of
doesn't,
the younger kids, keep
yeah,
doing
that
what you're
don't
doing and keep
understand?
saying that R&B's dead and keep sampling my music. Thank you. No, no, no. What I would say is, uh, hey, to the younger artists out there, man. You notice everybody's dyeing their hair different colors now. So I appreciate that I was able to influence you guys, even if you didn't know that I was influencing you guys. But the key to success and longevity is just to just do your best to respect the ones that came before you. I do my best to do that. When people say that Drew Hill sounds like Jodeci, I don't deny it. I say thank you. We were doing our best Jodeci impression. We were doing our best Boys the Men impression. Every R&B artist is either doing their best Michael Jackson or Prince impression, male R&B artists, even some female artists, and we're doing our best to do our best Janet and Madonna impression, at least me, because those were the influences that I had. I'm gonna do the best that I can to just, every chance I get, keep lifting up those influences that I had, so that those artists can know how they inspired me, and hopefully that will inspire the next generation, and they'll go back and listen to my inspirations, and that will keep music alive.
That's a wonderful answer. Now, when Drew Hill first got started, we didn't have social media back then. Tell me, what is your
It was just
favorite?
starting. It was just starting, actually.
Yeah, what is your very favorite social media platform to use at this point? Would it be
Oh man,
Facebook,
they ain't
Twitter?
pay me. They didn't pay me for that endorsement.
Ah, okay.
I'm gonna go get with Master P because he live here now. I'm in Minnesota. He live here now. I gotta get with him because he said we need to get our own social media platform. I'm like, I'm
Yeah,
with you, brother. Let's go.
he did say that. So you're in
Right?
Minnesota. Okay.
Mhm, mhm.
Well, it was a pleasure talking to you. Do not be a
Always,
stranger.
it's
Um,
always it's always been a pleasure. Thank you
yeah,
so much.
Right On is now rightondigital.com, and we have a lot of exciting things coming up.